ESPN's studio was illuminated with lights and Joel Embiid was smiling brightly. "I have great respect for LeBron, but statistics don't lie. He's 39 years old and his physical capacity isn't even 60% of what it was in 2018. Maybe it's not my place to say this, but we have to talk about the truth." Before Embiid could finish his words, the program producer rushed into the studio and placed a tablet in front of the host. After examining the tablet, the host stood up in astonishment. "An incredible development. LeBron James is about to join our broadcast with a special connection from the Lakers training facility, and he has the completed results of the physical tests Embiid just mentioned." Everyone in the studio was frozen. No one could predict how LeBron would respond to Embiid. Welcome to the Famous Stories channel. Whatever city you're watching from, please write it in the comments below. If you're curious about unknown and never-before-heard truths, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our videos. First Take had started like any other morning. ESPN's most-watched debate program was once again addressing the NBA agenda. Host Molly Qerim, famous commentator Stephen A. Smith, and NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins, who regularly appears as a guest, had taken their places in the studio. But today there was a special guest, Philadelphia 76ers superstar Joel Embiid. Today on our program we have a very special guest. Molly Qerim began. 2023 NBA MVP, Philadelphia 76ers superstar Joel Embiid. Welcome, Joel. Embiid smiled with his usual charismatic manner. "Thanks, Molly, it's great to be here." Stephen A. Smith immediately got to the point. "Joel, the Lakers are struggling again this season. LeBron James is still trying to carry his team at 39 years old. How do you evaluate this situation?" Embiid responded thoughtfully. "LeBron is one of the greatest players of all time, no doubt about that. But I've observed some changes over the last few seasons. He's not as explosive as he used to be, sometimes struggles on defense. This is a natural process related to age. So you think LeBron has physically declined?" Smith asked in his characteristically dramatic style. Embiid paused for a moment, then continued. "Look, a 39-year-old human body can't be the same as a 25-year-old one. This is a biological fact. I have great respect for LeBron, but statistics don't lie. He's 39 years old, and his physical capacity isn't even 60% of what it was in 20. Maybe it's not my place to say this, but we have to talk about the truth." Perkins immediately interjected. "That's a very bold statement, Joel. LeBron is still averaging 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game this season. Don't these numbers show that his age isn't affecting his performance?" "Statistics don't tell the whole story, Kendrick," Embiid said confidently. "LeBron is a very smart player. He can compensate for his physical decline with his basketball IQ. But when you face him on the court, you can clearly see that explosiveness has decreased. His first step has slowed down. This is a natural process, and I think we need to accept it now." "Why are you bringing up this topic now, Joel?" Molly asked. "Because the media continues to portray LeBron as one of the most dominant physical athletes in the league. That's not fair. He's at a different stage in his career now, and that should be appreciated. A physically declined LeBron can still be one of the best players in the league, but he does this through his basketball intelligence, not his physical dominance." Smith nodded in agreement. "Looking at physical tests, LeBron is definitely not at his peak. His vertical jump has decreased. His sprint speed has dropped. These are inevitable changes that come with age." Embiid went even further. "Not just physical tests. My observations on the court confirm this too. When we played against the Lakers last season, I clearly saw LeBron struggling against me on defense. It wasn't like this 5 years ago." "Wow, Joel is speaking without holding back," Perkins said with surprise. "I wonder what LeBron would think if he heard this." These words were still hanging in the air when program producer Jane Williams rushed into the studio and placed a tablet in front of Molly. After examining the tablet, Molly stood up in shock. "An incredible development," said Molly, unable to hide the excitement in her voice. "LeBron James is about to join our broadcast with a special connection from the Lakers training facility, and he has the completed results of the physical tests Embiid just mentioned." Everyone in the studio looked at each other in shock. The confident expression on Embiid's face was replaced by slight concern. "LeBron James wants to connect with us right now?" Embiid asked, disbelief in his voice. "Yes, Joel," Molly confirmed. "And apparently he wants to respond directly to your claims." Stephen A. Smith clapped his hands excitedly. "This is fantastic. We're about to witness one of the biggest moments in First Take history." Within seconds, LeBron James's image appeared on the large screen in the studio. Connecting from the Lakers training facility, James was sweaty and the Lakers conditioning coach and medical team were standing behind him. He had a not-so-happy expression on his face. "Good morning, Molly, Stephen A. Kendrick, and of course Joel," said LeBron, emphasizing the last name distinctly. "LeBron, so you were listening to us," said Molly. "Yes, I was watching the program and heard Joel making some claims about my physical condition," said LeBron. "When I arrived at the facility this morning, our medical team had learned about Joel's comments and suggested I take a comprehensive physical test. I agreed just out of curiosity." Embiid seemed unsure what to say in this unexpected situation. "LeBron, my comments shouldn't be taken as disrespect. It was just a professional observation." LeBron politely cut him off. "Joel, everyone can express their opinion, no problem. But since we're talking about physical tests and statistics, I want to show you some real results." A member of the team handed LeBron a folder. James opened the folder and began reading. "In the comprehensive physical tests we conducted this morning, my vertical jump was measured at 40 inches. In 2018, my jump height was 41.5 inches. This represents a 3.6% decrease, not a 40% decrease." Silence prevailed in the studio. Embiid's eyes were wide open. "My three-quarters court sprint time is 3:19 seconds. In 2018, this value was 3.15 seconds. Again, a very minimal difference," LeBron continued. "In endurance tests, my VO2 max value, a maximum oxygen consumption, ranks in the top 5% in the league." Kendrick Perkins interjected, "Wow, these are truly impressive numbers." "There's more," said LeBron, turning to another page in the folder. "My body fat percentage is 7%. My muscle mass has increased by 2% compared to 2018. My bone density is at the same level as that of a 25-year-old professional athlete." Stephen A. Smith shouted in amazement, "This is incredible, LeBron. These results completely debunk Joel's claims." Embiid tried to go on the defensive. "These tests might have been done in a controlled environment, but in real game conditions." LeBron cut him off again. "That's exactly the point I want to get to, Joel. Let's look at on-court performance data. According to the NBA's official tracking system, my average running speed this season is 14.8 mph. This is the second highest value of my career. My first step explosiveness has increased by 5% compared to last season." Molly asked with surprise, "Does age have no effect at all, LeBron? These results are truly extraordinary." "Of course age has effects," LeBron said in a softer tone, "but these effects aren't as dramatic as Joel described. My body may react a bit differently. My recovery process might be a bit longer. However, scientific data shows that with proper training, nutrition, and sleep regimen, it's possible to maintain athletic performance at a high level even in your 40s. At this point, there was another movement at the door of the studio. Dr. Judy Wilson from the Lakers medical team entered the studio and handed a file to Molly. "Molly, here are copies of all the test results LeBron mentioned. These have also been verified by an independent medical center," said Wilson. Molly opened the file and her eyes widened. "Yes, all the results are here and they're exactly as LeBron said." Embiid looked uncomfortable in the face of LeBron's strong evidence, but he was still determined to fight. "LeBron, these test results are impressive, I admit that. But what I was really trying to say was that a 39-year-old player should experience some changes compared to his 25-year-old self. Maybe your case is exceptional." LeBron smiled slightly. "Well, Core, there are certainly some age-related changes, I'm not denying that. But your words were not even 60%, which is quite an exaggerated claim. Also, the point I really want to emphasize is this. Age is just a number. What really matters is how you take care of your body and how you prepare yourself mentally." Stephen A. Smith wanted to take the topic even further. "Well, LeBron, what do you think about Joel's claim that he has an advantage over you on defense?" LeBron pulled out another page from the folder. "In the 2 games we played against Philadelphia this season, my shooting percentage in positions where Joel defended me is 57%. This is above my season average. So the data doesn't support this claim either." The expression on Embiid's face was becoming increasingly uncomfortable. "Statistics don't tell the whole story, LeBron." On the court, "You're right, Joel. Statistics don't tell the whole story," LeBron interrupted. "That's why I want to show you something else." LeBron signaled to a member of the team and the camera angle widened. There was a video screen in the background. "After the test this morning, we recorded a short performance demonstration," said LeBron. The video began playing. LeBron was standing alone on the Lakers' practice court. He started with mid-range shots, then came three-pointers, then more dynamic movements, dunks, dribbles, spin moves. As the video progressed, the movements became even more impressive. In the final section, LeBron took off from the free throw line and completed the video with a spectacular dunk. When the video ended, everyone in the studio was sitting silently. Even Stephen A. Smith, perhaps for the first time in his life, was at a loss for words. Perkins broke the silence. "Wow, LeBron, you're performing like this morning? It's 10 a.m. and you're already in top form?" LeBron calmly replied, "This is a normal training day for me, Kendrick. When I say age is just a number, this is what I mean." Embiid finally spoke, his voice not as confident as before. "This is impressive, LeBron, really. Maybe I could have been wrong, but still, isn't it natural for a 39-year-old player to experience some physical changes?" "Of course it's natural, Joel," said LeBron, his tone softening a bit, "but these changes aren't as dramatic as you described. Thanks to modern medicine, nutrition science, and training methodologies, athletes can now perform at a high level for much longer. Tom Brady was playing in the NFL at 40. Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing professional soccer at 30. It seems my perspective was a bit limited," said Embiid, trying to smile slightly. "Maybe I was too attached to traditional basketball wisdom." LeBron nodded. "Look, Joel, I'm not angry at you for what you said, but I want you to know this. I challenge myself and my limits every day. Age has never been an excuse for me and never will be. I love this game and I'll continue to play as long as I take good care of my body." Molly wanted to shift the topic a bit. "LeBron, your test results and performance are truly incredible. What kind of regimen do you follow to maintain this physical condition?" LeBron took a deep breath. "Training, nutrition, and rest. These are the basic principles. I spend about $1.5 million a year just on body maintenance. I have private chefs, masseurs, sleep specialists. I use methods like cryotherapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Everything works together as a whole." Stephen A. Smith had finally collected himself. "LeBron, do you think you've completely silenced Joel with these results and video? You practically gave him a basketball lesson." LeBron smiled slightly. "I'm not trying to silence anyone, Stephen A. I just wanted to present the facts. Joel is a great player and has the right to express his views. However, if you can't support your ideas with data, they remain just guesses." Embiid tried to salvage the situation. "I didn't mean to belittle you, LeBron. It was just a general observation, but I was clearly wrong and I accept that." LeBron nodded. "No problem, Joel, we can all be wrong. What's important is being able to change our views when evidence emerges." Just then there was a new development in the studio. Program producer Jane entered the studio again and whispered something in Molly's ear. Molly's eyes widened. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have another surprise guest. Charles Barkley wants to join our program. Apparently he's been watching this debate between LeBron and Joel and wants to share some thoughts." Charles Barkley's image appeared on the screen. The famous analyst was smiling with his characteristic humor. "Hey, what's up, y'all?" said Barkley. "I've been watching this debate and man, it's getting good. Joel, my man, I gotta say, you just poked the bear, and the bear came back with receipts." Everyone in the studio laughed, lightening the atmosphere a bit. "LeBron, these test results are really impressive," Barkley continued, "but I've got a question for you. How much of this is natural ability, and how much is the investment you make? Because let's be honest, most NBA players don't spend $1.5 million a year on their bodies." LeBron appreciated the question. "That's a great point, Chuck. I think it's a combination. God blessed me with certain natural abilities, but I've worked incredibly hard to maintain and even improve them. The investment is substantial, but it's not just about money. It's about discipline, consistency, and prioritizing longevity." Barkley nodded. "See, that's what separates the all-time greats from everyone else. When I was playing, we didn't have all this technology and science. I was eating McDonald's before games." Everyone laughed again. "But seriously," Barkley continued, "what you're doing, LeBron, is changing how we think about athletic careers. You're extending the prime of an NBA player by years. That's revolutionary." "I appreciate that, Chuck," said LeBron. Barkley turned his attention to Embiid. "And Joel, don't feel too bad. We all put our foot in our mouth sometimes. I've done it more than anyone. The key is to learn from it." Embiid smiled. "Thanks, Chuck. This has definitely been a learning experience for me." "One more thing," added Barkley. "Joel, you might want to save those notes LeBron's sharing, because in about 10 years you're going to be 39 too, and you'll need them." The studio erupted in laughter. Just as the atmosphere had lightened considerably, program producer Jane rushed into the studio yet again, this time with an even more surprising update for Molly. Molly's expression showed genuine shock. "Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that Michael Jordan himself is on the line and wants to join our conversation. This is unprecedented." The studio fell completely silent as the image of Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time in many people's eyes, appeared on screen. Jordan rarely gave interviews or made television appearances, making this moment truly historic. "Hello everyone," Jordan said with his characteristic confidence. "I've been following this discussion with great interest." "Michael, this is an absolute honor," said Molly, still visibly stunned by his appearance. "Thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on this debate about age and athletic performance?" Jordan smiled. "Well, first of all, I want to commend LeBron for his longevity. What he's doing at 39 is truly impressive. When I came back at 38 with the Wizards, I wasn't nearly at the level LeBron is performing at now." LeBron looked genuinely moved by Jordan's words. "Thank you, MJ. That means everything, coming from you." Jordan continued, "What's most impressive to me isn't just the physical maintenance but the evolution of LeBron's game. When I came back older, I had to adapt my game. I couldn't rely on the same athletic advantages I had in my prime. LeBron has done that masterfully, becoming more efficient, more strategic." Michael Stephen A. Smith interjected, "In your opinion, does what LeBron is doing change how we should think about athletic primes and career longevity?" "Absolutely," Jordan replied without hesitation. "LeBron is rewriting the rules. In my era, once you hit 35 you were considered near the end. Now with the advances in training, recovery and sports science plus the discipline LeBron has shown, the timeline has completely changed." Jordan then addressed Embiid directly. "Joel, you're an incredible talent, but remember the game is always evolving and so are the athletes. What seems impossible today becomes the standard tomorrow. That's been the story of basketball." Embiid nodded respectfully. "I understand that now and I appreciate the wisdom. This has been an educational experience for me." Jordan had one final point to make. "LeBron, I just want to say this publicly. Your dedication to maintaining your body and extending your prime years has elevated the entire sport. The standard you're setting will influence generations of players to come. That might be as important a legacy as any championship." "Thank you, Michael," LeBron said, clearly emotional. "Coming from you, that's the highest praise possible." As Jordan's segment concluded, Molly recognized it was time to bring in another perspective to this extraordinary conversation. "We've heard from legends of the game, but let's also get some scientific insight," she said. Joining us now is Dr. Marcus Thompson, Director of Athletic Performance at the Mayo Clinic and author of The New Athletic Prime: How Science is Redefining Peak Performance Ages. Dr. Thompson appeared on screen, bringing an air of academic authority to the discussion. Dr. Thompson, from a scientific perspective, how extraordinary are the physical test results LeBron has shared with us today? Molly asked. "They're nothing short of remarkable," Dr. Thompson replied. "What we're seeing here defies conventional understanding of athletic aging. Typically, we expect to see a 1–2% decline in explosive power per year after age 30. For someone at 39, we'd normally see a 15 to 20% decrease from their peak. LeBron's showing numbers that are within 5% of his prime. So is LeBron just an anomaly?" Stephen A. Smith asked. "Or is this something other athletes could achieve?" "It's a combination of factors," Dr. Thompson explained. "LeBron clearly has exceptional genetics, that's undeniable, but what's most interesting from a scientific perspective is how he's optimized every variable within his control. His approach to training, recovery, nutrition and sleep is essentially a living laboratory for advanced sports science." Dr. Thompson, Embiid interjected, "Is there something about basketball specifically that allows for this kind of longevity compared to other sports?" "That's an excellent question," the doctor replied. "Basketball does have certain advantages. It's not as high impact as football, for instance, but basketball also requires an extraordinary combination of explosive power, endurance and skill. What LeBron is demonstrating isn't sport-specific. It's a fundamental revolution in how we understand human performance across the aging spectrum." The doctor turned to address LeBron directly. "I'd be interested to know if your recovery protocols have changed significantly as you've aged. That's typically where we see the most dramatic differences in older athletes." LeBron nodded thoughtfully. "Absolutely. Recovery has become my obsession over the past 5 years. What's changed most is the precision and individualization. We track everything: heart rate variability, sleep quality, inflammatory markers, even my breathing patterns. Then we adjust recovery protocols daily based on that data." "That's exactly where sports science is headed," Dr. Thompson confirmed. "Personalized, data-driven protocols rather than one-size-fits-all approaches." As the scientific discussion continued, program producer Jane approached Molly once again, this time with news that would take the conversation in yet another unexpected direction. "Molly," Jane whispered, but the microphones picked it up, "Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is calling in. He says he has a unique perspective to offer as someone who played at an elite level until age 42. The studio buzzed with excitement. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's all-time leading scorer until LeBron recently surpassed him, and a player who had redefined basketball longevity in his era, was about to join the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Molly announced, we're honored to welcome NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to our discussion. Kareem appeared on screen, dignified and thoughtful as always. Thank you for having me, he said. This conversation touches on something I've thought about extensively, both during my playing days and in the decades since. Kareem, you played at an MVP level well into your late 30s and remained effective until 42, said Molly. How does what LeBron is doing now compare to your experience? Kareem considered the question carefully. What LeBron is doing is both similar and different. Similar in that both of us found ways to adapt our games as we aged. Different in that the science and technology available to him simply didn't exist in my era. How did you maintain your effectiveness for so long? Stephen A. Smith asked. For me, it was yoga, proper nutrition, and developing a game that didn't rely solely on athleticism, Kareem explained. The skyhook couldn't be blocked whether I was 25 or 40. But what LeBron has access to now, the advanced analytics, recovery methods, training techniques, it's a different world. Kareem addressed LeBron directly. One thing I'm curious about, LeBron, how much has your mental approach to the game changed as you've gotten older? For me, the mental adjustments were as important as the physical ones. LeBron nodded with respect. That's such an important point, Kareem. The mental evolution has been everything. I see the game differently now. It's almost like it moves in slow motion compared to when I was younger. I'm processing situations, reading defenses, and making decisions at a level I couldn't access at 25. That's exactly what I experienced, Kareem confirmed. The physical tools might diminish slightly, but they're more than offset by the mental growth if you approach the game the right way. Kareem then turned to Embiid. Joel, you're an immensely talented player with a skill set that should age beautifully. If you take the lessons from this conversation to heart, there's no reason you can't be dominating the league at 38, 39, even 40. I'm definitely taking notes, Embiid replied. This whole discussion has completely changed my perspective on athletic longevity. As the extraordinary roundtable continued, even more surprising guests began joining the conversation. Kevin Garnett, known for his intensity and longevity, added his perspective. Sue Bird, who had played WNBA basketball at an elite level until age 41, offered insights on female athletes' longevity. Tom Brady, who had redefined aging curves in the NFL, called in to share his experiences. What had begun as Joel Embiid questioning LeBron's physical capabilities had transformed into a summit on athletic performance, aging, and the future of sports. Scientists, legends, current stars, and medical experts all contributing to a conversation that was reshaping conventional wisdom in real time. As the program approached the 2-hour mark, far beyond its normal runtime, but too compelling to cut short, Molly sensed it was time to bring the historic discussion to a close. Before we wrap up this extraordinary conversation, she said, I'd like to give both Joel and LeBron a chance for some final thoughts. Embiid went first. I came into this studio today with what I thought was an informed opinion about athletic aging. I'm leaving with a completely different perspective. LeBron, I want to apologize for underestimating what you're accomplishing. It's not just impressive, it's revolutionary, and I'm grateful for the lesson. LeBron nodded appreciatively. No apology necessary, Joel. This conversation has been valuable for everyone, not just athletes, but anyone who's ever put limitations on themselves based on age. If there's one message I hope people take from this, it's that many of the boundaries we accept are self-imposed. With the right approach, the right knowledge, and the right mindset, what's possible at any age might be far greater than we've been led to believe. Molly brought the historic program to a close. On behalf of everyone at First Take, I want to thank our incredible guests today, from current NBA stars to legends of the game to scientific experts. What began as a debate about LeBron James's physical capabilities at 39 has evolved into something much more significant, a conversation that may well change how we think about human performance for generations to come. As the cameras stopped rolling, the impact was already beginning to reverberate throughout the sports world and beyond. What had started as Joel Embiid questioning LeBron James's physical capabilities had become a watershed moment, not just in sports discourse, but in our collective understanding of human potential across the aging spectrum. The paradigm hadn't just shifted, it had been completely redefined, and at the center of it all was LeBron James, who had once again proven that his impact extended far beyond the basketball court. Age, as LeBron had demonstrated so conclusively, was indeed just a number. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. What do you think about this topic? Please write in the comments below. See you in the next video.